Mm. Okay. And I don't usually look at the underlying energy because we already have so many cards that we're working with. More than usual. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we're working with 9 cards. I'm going to just work with these, and they'll give us enough information anyway to help us get through this reading. Now, the first card that we're looking at in the past is the Seven of Swords. So I feel like in the past for a lot of you guys, there could have been some avoidance. There could have been some, I don't really want to deal with this energy. For a lot of you guys, there could be even, taking a leap of faith, most importantly. But there could have been some avoidance. But I honestly, where I'm leaning towards, guys, is a leap of faith. You guys have been really trying to, go out of your comfort zone, and that's been hard, right? It's been very hard, especially with Uranus entering Taurus. There's a really big revamp, a really big shift and change when it comes to your life, when it comes to everything. So I feel like you guys have had to kind of step outside of your comfort zone, and it's really uncomfortable, to be absolutely honest with you. Now, leading on to the present, you guys have the Queen of Wands. Now, Aries had this, and you guys, I feel like you guys could be interacting with an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, or could potentially be you guys. But I don't typically like reading you guys as queens, but this could be you in regards to that. You feel like you have a serious urge to do something. You're very creative at this time. You're very passionate about a project that you're involved in, or potentially you're very passionate in your relationships. You could be also a little bit aggressive, potentially, right here in this reading. Like for how you guys are in relationships, y'all could be seriously aggressive right now. And that is, grumpy, whatever, right? But you really want to get something done. It's constantly the same old, same old. You left your comfort zone. You're not happy already. You're not going to be happy about leaving your comfort zone. You're a fixed sign. That's not something that you're interested in doing. You don't like stepping outside of your comfort zone, doing anything that's not in your house. Like, it's just like, ugh, come on. So immediately I completely understand this energy. You have this urge to just do something, to get this passion out, because you feel a lot of energy. I don't know if it's necessarily anger, but you got a lot of energy pent up. Now, moving on to the future, you have the Seven of Swords, and the Seven of Swords talks about stress, not being able to sleep at night. And it's really, honestly, it's one of the worst cards to get. Even the Ten of Swords makes this the Ten of Swords makes. Well, this card makes the Ten of Swords look better, which is pretty much what I'm trying to say. So, yeah, you're not happy with it. You're not happy. And I really feel like with the Nine of Swords here, this is kind of gets a bit much at some points. Now, we're going to delve into the situations now in the past, present, future, and we're going to look at the sections that we made for each section. So we already got a backup story with 3-card reading, and we're going to go ahead and delve in deep with the cards here with internal and external. So with the Seven of Swords, taking a risk is definitely a possibility here, because you have the Lovers. The Lovers. The Fool. Excuse me. There's no lovers in here. But the Fool. You guys have the Fool. Though the Seven of Swords is usually like, avoiding situations, not really wanting to do it, not really wanting to kind of take a risk in some ways. But actually, not necessarily so. You're taking a risk by avoiding things. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because, but at the same time, you're putting yourself in harm's way when you avoid stuff. But at the same time, I really feel like you guys are stepping outside of your comfort zone. You guys are not comfortable with what you're doing. You're taking a leap of faith. You know you're starting a new beginning. Emotionally, internally, you're starting something new. You're taking a leap of faith here. This is 2 risk cards that you're taking, because you're about to, you're very close to walking off the edge. So I feel like here at this point, with the Seven of Swords, you've got energy here. You've got energy here saying that you're taking a leap of faith. You have had to shift your situation. You have to shift your home. And I really feel like the avoidance aspect of it is the acknowledgement that you did it, to be absolutely honest. Like, you just did it, and you're just like, you were not happy about it. You weren't happy about it, and you're just like, let's just do it, do what we need to do, and get it done. And that's probably potentially why you have so much stress, because in a way, you did step out and go out of your comfort zone at this period, but at the same time, you are avoiding thinking about it, and that's why it plays your mind potentially in the future, because you haven't acknowledged it mentally yet. It's not, it's you've been trying to ignore it, shut your emotions off, and just kind of keep moving. Despite what's changing, you just keep moving. That's why you're just so, that's why you may be agitated, a little bit aggressive, because you're in a state where you're changing things so much, and it's not comfortable. In external energy, you have the 10 of Pentacles, which is actually not bad. I like this here. And it's really showing that you have a lot of support. You have family. You have people that care about you. You may have taken a leap of faith emotionally. You may have changed your situation emotionally. But nothing has changed externally, I feel like. Everything's kind of still in the same place. Everything's kind of still, is still... wonderful and grand. You still have family, friends, and people to lean on. You have a great foundation. You even possibly have built a legacy with your individual, with your person, with your mate. And for those of you that have kids, this is everything. You're leaving. You make it. You're making something happen and building generations to come. Now, so it's like almost you leave this completely unaffected. That's what it looks like. So emotionally, you're taking a leap of faith, but you haven't acknowledged it in your present. Because honestly, things are still golden in the past. Things still happen, but emotionally, you had to jump out of that that box and say, all right, fine. I will find a new box. I will find a new place that I can feel safe and comfortable. Oh my God! And this is a sense of vulnerability here at the same time that is so uncomfortable. I completely understand. Now, with the Queen of Wands, right? Considering that you kind of made an emotional left turn, like technically it is a left turn for you guys, isn't it? So like you guys have changed your mind or changed a certain way, in some sort of way. You took a leap of faith in some direction, starting something new internally. You guys are now in this mode of kind of getting things done, just wanting to get things done, just pumping stuff out, feeling that passion, right? You're really wanting to get this energy going. Same thing with Aries. You guys really want this energy to just flow, come out, flow. And I feel like this is honestly not a bad energy, except here with the 10 of Wands, you feel overburdened. Now, this is very similar. I feel like this is, considering this is a lot on your plate to handle maintaining a wonderful and balanced family, foundation, everything. But I feel like you are feeling the burden of your responsibilities. You're feeling the burdens of everything that you've tacked on. And it's making you, honestly, it will make you cranky. It will make you, a little bit more aggressive. And I'm not saying you guys are cranky or mean or anything. You guys are very sweet and you guys have really soft hearts. But the thing here is that there is always, everybody has a period where they get a little bit agitated with certain situations going on. And especially if the situation is agitating, it doesn't make any sense for you not to be agitated. So I feel like for a lot of you guys are trying to be, you guys are a little more aggressive. You guys are, handling your situation with a lot more punch to it. You're handling it in a way that's like taking people off guard. Now, with the 10 of Wands, yeah, you guys are burdened, y'all tired. You guys are honestly trying to carry your load through to the end, and it's very difficult, especially emotionally. Internally, you're handling a lot of stuff. And externally, it makes sense because you have a lot of conflicts that you're dealing with other people, with your partner potentially. You're handling a lot of things, and potentially, if this is work for you guys, this is competition. This is competition in the workplace. So you wanting to become this individual that could stand out of the crowd, you're in the mess with it. And you have so much you got to deal with at home. You have so much you got to deal with emotionally. And you perhaps haven't even gotten a chance to express that, which is why I said you have so much built up. Because when the 10 of Wands comes up, it's like you've got a lot of built up energy. You have to, there's got to be something you got to, there's got to be something you can do to express that, to put it into creative things or constructive things. Get your passion out somehow. There's a lot of burden here. And I feel, like I said, it really just feels like you've got so much pent up that you don't know how to exactly exhibit that. You don't know how to let it all out in a aggressive way, because how you usually do things is very calm, very peaceful in your own time, but you have it organized and you're constantly putting in effort, okay? It's a cycle. But if the internal is agitated, if the external is agitated, then the internal is agitated. Okay, that's always how it goes. It's never the other way around. Like if you're internally agitated, the outside will be agitated. Well, yes, if the outside is agitated, you'll be agitated. No, because you can have this going on and have temperance. I've seen that before. Well, Internally, if you feel agitated, it's because the external is, well, it's the external is going to be the same way. So you have to figure out why. So that's the whole point. What can you do to push out that excess energy, that energy that you feel like needs to go? What do you feel like needs to be done so that way you can feel less weight on your back? And you can handle the situation with the conflicts and the back and forth, the things that you may not agree on with individuals. Because there seems like to be, there's a constant argument battle. You having to stand strong. You have to be strong in your moment. You have to remain tough. And that is so hard, especially when you're dealing with the Five of Wands on a constant basis, and you're already feeling very stressed out and very, very exhausted. Very burdened as well. So the advice for this week, guys, is all centered around here. So really look within yourself and realize how much you're doing right now. Realize how much you're doing, and also take note of how much you're getting done. You may want to be compassionate with yourself and with others, because the people are not going to understand, and especially if you're not, communicating it. Because I don't see a lot of cards indicating communication here. You may not be communicating exactly what's what's bugging you, what's making you so stressed out, and that's the problem. That's probably why you end up going into the Nine of Swords, is because there's no communication. There's more avoiding that it's even happening emotionally, to the point where it's bugging you mentally, and you do end up having to say something. So it's important, guys, to really see what you're doing, acknowledge what you're doing, and honestly communicate how you feel, so you don't end up having to deal with this Nine of Swords energy. So that way you can say, you know what, I'm super stressed out. I've got a lot on my plate. I've got things I got to do. I have to, really put my heart and soul into it. I really got to stand out of the crowd. I got a lot of competition I got to work with. There's a lot of stuff that's happening in my life right now. This conflict, either internally or externally, and I have to do it. Like, you feel like you have to do it all by yourself with that Ten of Wands. So we're moving on to the future here, and I feel like with this advice is saying that there is a bit of stress, there's a lot of anxiety, potentially depression, but most importantly, you see that the problem is, well, you don't see that the problem is actually as serious, especially if you don't communicate. You're by yourself, you're isolated, and you don't have anybody around. And that can be changed. That can absolutely 100% be changed. You don't have to go through it alone. There is always somebody there. You have the support network here. In the past, if this is here in the past, why isn't it here in the future? It's because you see that the situation that you're going through is something that you have to go through by yourself, and you don't have to do that ever, Taurus, ever. You don't ever have to do that, okay? And for those of you that don't have anybody around you, it's possibly a good idea to seek somebody or seek some counseling, so that, not because you're crazy, not because you have anger issues, none of those things, but to have somebody to talk to you about this stuff, so they can give you an opportunity to talk about it, and vent, and let it all out. Because it's honestly so much better to recognize what's going on with you internally and emotionally, rather than to just shut it off completely. And I know it can be difficult to look at the things that you're just doing that's uncomfortable, but as long as you acknowledge that you're doing something that's uncomfortable, that is for the better, and it's for the better, you'll be able to feel more relaxed. Okay, Taurus. So if you don't have anybody around you, I would highly suggest talking to somebody, or talking to a therapist, talking to somebody that will listen to you and be able to even give you some feedback or some advice if you want it. They will never choke it down your throat. Now, with this Nine of Swords energy, you have the Ace of Wands. Another change card, but not another change, but a new beginning. Another new beginning. And that's one that, you get some things started, some things happen, right? For those of you that may be single, this could be that there is an individual that's coming back from the past. This could potentially be this Queen of Wands here, right? This individual that's here. This could be like a rekindling of a relationship with this individual, and it's causing you stress because it's an ex and they're already a hassle to deal with. They're already arguing back and forth, and all of a sudden, like, they want to get back together, and you're like, after what we just had an argument about, are you serious? But for those of you that this is not an ex or anything, or this is someone that you already are in a relationship with, this is just a new beginning that you're having to start internally, emotionally. You may be excited, and it's keeping you up at night. That's not a bad energy in my opinion, but it's just that you may have less stress about it too. Maybe that you have a lot of fears that you may not be seeing that you might have. And I want you to understand that you have to tap into those fears and figure out why you're feeling such a way. Something new could have happened, but something also could have made you feel like you could feel so anxious to get started that you end up losing sleep. So be very careful. So we're moving into this here with this Ace of Wands. And the thing that's so exciting about it is because it's finally something that you've been wanting for a long time. It's something that you've been manifesting, that you've been really dying to do, dying to kind of get into. And I'm not saying dying because, I mean, I'm being exaggerant. But honestly, this is just something that you've been wanting to do for a while. And you feel content. So I feel like ultimately when you handle your situation here, the stress is internal only potentially because you're excited, you're ready to get started, and it is something that you've been wanting to do for a while, and it's because you went through the craziness and the hardships, and you went through hell and back, but you came out stronger and better than ever. But you're excited and anxious to get something started because it's finally come back. So for some of you guys, this could be an ex that finally came back, and it's something that you've been wishing for anyway. But for a lot of you guys, this could be just something new happening, so a new beginning, a new adventure, and it's definitely it's put you in a place where you feel more happy about where you are. Definitely the wish card, right? So I do feel good about that. Let me go ahead and pull you guys your whispers of love for the week. All right. Whoa. Wow. I like it. We're going to keep them. So, you guys have spend time. You have spend time with each other. And that says it is imperative that we spend quality time with those we are in significant relationships with, listening and talking to each other. So this could potentially be what's going on right now, right? Listening and talking to each other. That brings up a lot of conflict, but it resolves it too. There can't be peace until you have a conflict. There cannot be peace. The peace will not be peaceful if there is still something that's still bugging it. It's still like a little fly. Like you gotta kill that fly, fight with the fly to get it out of the way, or at least take it outside before you can have a clean and clear environment. So nothing's in your face and flying around. Nothing that's gonna be potentially bugging you. And I'm not saying that your partner's a bug, but what I am saying is that situation between you and your partner is not going to be peaceful. You can't sit there and enjoy your time with the individual if there's something there bugging you. So spending time with one another is talking about communication, is talking about working through those issues and working through those hardships, right? And working through and spending time with them and listening and finding solutions. And it may have to be sometimes with some individuals, when it comes to spending time with them, it's going to require a bit of tough love. And I feel like that's what's happening here with the Queen of Wands. For some of you guys, you may need tough love, or you guys have to exhibit tough love to some individuals. Because this energy is not easy energy, 10 of Wands and the 5 of Wands. Then you have here, be authentic to who you are. You are asked to be real and true pertaining to who you are and how you feel. And that's important. The Queen of Wands doesn't mess around. She knows how she feels at all times. She knows what's going on in her feelings. She doesn't mess around, okay? And I say that like twice. And she's very authentic. She doesn't do anything she doesn't want to do. She's very true to herself. She's true to everyone else around her. And that's why she grabs so many people. It's because she's confident in her uniqueness. She's confident in her authenticity. And you guys have to be confident in your authenticity in order to succeed. You have to know that, hey, there is a line, there's a limit, there is a border to everything that I believe in, and I'm okay with that. I'm happy with who I am. And if you want this relationship to work, you have to accept all of me. You have to accept all of me, and that's totally okay. That's why spending time with each other is so important, because you show your authenticity. You show that you show your Queen of Wands. And if that Queen of Wands is a little aggressive, a little tough, a little sarcastic, a little X, Y, and Z, then it is what it is. It can be adjusted with the 5 of Wands. It can be adjusted to work with everybody if that's what you want to do. But you have to apply time where it needs, and I feel like you don't have to do everything by yourself either. If you spend time with one another, you see everyone's weaknesses and strengths, and you can utilize this to the future. But I feel like you're going to get to where you want to be anyway. The anxious part is just because you guys have a lot of stuff going on, but you finally have something that's happening that you want to happen, and you're so excited and anxious to start it. or you're so stressed out that you don't know if you'll be able to handle it. You don't know if you'll be able to get this new beginning started in the way that you want to. But you have to trust yourself, especially utilizing this energy to recognize how much you've gone through, how much you've been through, and recognize that you can execute and do so many wonderful things.